Welcome to W2W Racing. In today's episode, we're going to discuss the Monaco Grand Prix. We had a really hyped up Monaco Grand Prix. I felt like all the commentators were hyping it up, but then at the end, when the race was about to start, they were like, oh, everybody, it's not going to be the most exciting race, because after we had the qualifying, we know you can't really overtake on that circuit. So the whole hype of Monaco and the preparation that they had, that it's one of the most prestigious, kind of went a bit away with the race that we kind of knew nobody can do really anything. But it was still very interesting because we had some interesting events that happened with strategy. And I'm going to start with Charles Leclerc. It was such a heartbreak problem. Look, the drive shaft issue. First of all, Ferrari, what the hell is Ferrari doing? I was expecting them to really take all the necessary measures, because the day before everybody said, okay, he's gonna need a new gearbox. And the whole world looked at Ferrari like, are you sure you don't want to repair that car and change the gearbox? They were like, nope, it's okay, we checked everything. And the moment he puts it in gear and goes on the track, he felt something breaking. Apparently it was not related. They say it's not directly connected to the accident, but it's still something that got damaged, and they didn't see it because of the crash. It's not on the side of the crash, but it's on the other side. I understood something like that. Anyway, it was really heartbreaking because I think he would have won. He had a very good chance, and maybe something with the strategy could have happened, but I don't really think. I think he really had a good chance because they had a strong car. He had a really good result with a bit of luck, but still a great result for Ferrari. They could hold their own, and that was the first event, and it was so heartbreaking. Now with the start, Max had a good start. He had a very cheeky positioning on the grid. I don't know how they don't really say anything about that. His car was kind of positioned to go straight in front of Bottas. It wasn't perfectly parallel to the line, but I'm sure it was legal. But it looked pretty funny when you look at it from further away. Valtteri had a strong race, but very uneventful until the pit. What the hell happened with the pit? We never saw something like that. They put the gun in. They shaved everything that was inside the shaft, and they couldn't take the wheel out. It was really, really bad. Like, I've never seen something like that. A car had to have to stop because they can't take it out, like it's permanently damaged. Probably they had to cut it out or something like that. So that was really bad for Mercedes. They had an awful weekend. They had an awful strategy anyway. Hamilton was the one that took the shorter straw, let's say, when it came to strategy. We're all expecting Mercedes to be all hands on, all the team to be focused on how to put Hamilton on a better position, but they pulled the trigger and they didn't realize that the overcut was more powerful on this circuit. And we saw amazing results like Red Bull had with Sergio, where he finished fourth and he started behind Hamilton. So he overcut like 3 cars in one move. And that was so good for Red Bull. And Lewis, even though Valtteri went out of the race, he still finished lower than he started. It was really heartbreaking. I got to admit, I'm a Lewis fan. I also like Max. I also like Charles. But I kind of like what's happening now. We're witnessing greatness, where Lewis is like the Schumacher of our times, and we get to see it live. And I kind of support the dream of breaking the record of Michael. So I'm a bit biased in that sense, because I know if Lewis wouldn't be here, probably Max would dominate. So I think if Lewis retires, we might see a one-sided championship. So if you hear me being a bit too biased towards Lewis, awful strategy for Mercedes. I don't understand how they could miss this, how they could not see that the overcut was more effective, and they put him in a really bad position behind Pierre. So he was stuck there all the whole race. Anyway, he didn't look that he had very good pace. Maybe he was just cruising. He didn't want to push anymore. He knew he doesn't really have a chance, but he looked like he kind of struggled with the pace. I wanted to talk about also the atmosphere there. The whole Monaco Grand Prix looked a bit sad. Like everybody tried to hype it up. I watched all the shows before and the qualifying, and they let some fans in, and it looked nice. It was nice. They still tried to make it festive, but if you look on the aerial shots from the helicopter, it was kind of empty. Like the balconies were not very full, and the marina, which is always like crazy, like it's full of boats, it was empty. No boats outside the port, no boats. There were empty spaces in the marina. There was no traffic there with the boats. It was pretty sad. It was like you could see it was still a pandemic race, but yeah, it's still good we had it back. It was an important Grand Prix to happen, but it was not the glamorous Monaco race that usually is. Also, all the partying was forbidden, and for good reasoning. But yeah, it was a bit dull in that sense. But it was still a nice event in that sense that we're getting closer to going back to normal. I wanted now to go a bit through the list of the standings. What happened with the final results. So we had Max winning, great result, and also with this, Mercedes lost the championship lead for the drivers and lost the team championship lead, which is pretty interesting. That didn't happen for a very, very long time in Formula 1, and it's interesting because we have some competition for Mercedes, and Red Bulls showed a really, really strong pace. And yeah, we have Carlos on the second position. Very good podium, first podium for Ferrari. Ferrari had the perfect weekend, to be honest, if Charles wouldn't damage before the start. But yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't. But still a good weekend for Ferrari. They had a podium, and for Carlos, he had a great drive. Third position, Lando Norris with McLaren. You could really see Lando getting into his own. Like, he's really more mature driver, really performing at his maximum with that car. You could see his teammate sorry, not Carlos. It's not Carlos anymore. You could see Daniel struggling with a bit on the McLaren. So Lando really carries the team in this, at least in this Grand Prix, and it was really cool to see he finally got another podium. And also, I loved the livery. I love the Golf livery. Everybody's asking, why didn't McLaren start with that Golf livery in the beginning? Like, I was expecting to see a Golf livery on the McLaren since the beginning. Like, why wouldn't you? If you're partner with Golf, like that's the livery to go for. Like, why did it came so late? But still, I really loved the way they looked. Also with the car, I love the car how it looked, but I liked more the way they had the uniforms. Kind of retro, kind of cool. So on fourth place we have Sergio. Amazing drive. You could see he really had the pace. There was a moment where he got in front of Max when they did a tire change, and he really had the pace to push. He's really performing really nice at Red Bull. Not in the qualifying all the time, but in the race he's really consistent and really strong. In fifth we have Sebastian Vettel. So Sebastian had a really good performance. They used the undercut. Very good performance, I think, and team worked very well. You could see kind of the glimpse of the old Force India and Racing Point, because we kind of expected more from Aston Martin this year. They were pretty dull in the beginning of the year, but yeah, new management. They had the management from before, but a new team, new brand, maybe a bit the culture changed a bit, and you didn't see that young, low budget, strong team that they were before, but now they had a really good performance, and maybe we'll see them in the next races more stronger. Mind you, this race was all about strategy, because you could not really see the performance of the cars, because whatever you get on track position, that's it. You can't really overtake. Pierre Gasly, number 6. Good race. Consistent. Pierre's, I think, is outdriving the car. He's consistently up there in the top 10, and he had a really good performance. They overtook Lewis. Even if they started before Lewis on the starting grid, everybody was expecting, including Mercedes, to overtake Hamilton on the undercut. But that didn't happen. Number 7. Lewis Hamilton, the number 2 on the Drivers' Championship right now. In qualifying and also in the race, the team really didn't help him that much. It was one to forget. I was hoping for a miracle. In one moment, I was expecting the strategy to work better, and also to have a safety car. It was such a strange situation where all the drivers drove perfectly, and beside the DNF that we had with Charles and Valtteri, nobody crashed. It was interesting for such a demanding circuit like Monaco. We have Lance on 8th, which was a good race. Good position for Aston Martin, especially. They got pretty good points. Finally, they started competing again with Alpine in the Drivers' Championship. 9th, Esteban with another good performance. He's the one who's carrying the team a bit now. I was expecting Fernando to start to show a bit more pace. Fernando's still at the bottom right now, and he didn't really had a good race until now. But Esteban kind of stepped up. I'm not really sure. Is it Esteban? I think it's Esteban also leveling up a bit now. He wanted to prove that he's worthy of Alpine. But before he was a bit outshined by Daniel at Renault. But I think he leveled up a bit, and now that Daniel is not there and Fernando's struggling a bit with the car, he's really the main guy at Alpine and bringing in the points. It's good to see him, because I was a bit worried for Esteban. He was such a great talent but when he was competing with Sergio and then he had that break, he couldn't find the team, and when he came back, he was a bit kind of lost a bit that shine, and I was worried, because if he wouldn't perform this season, probably he wouldn't last that much in Formula 1. But he's showing good performance, so he's confirming the good results he had when he started, and that's really cool, because I really like Esteban. He's number 10. Antonio Giovinazzi, Alfa Romeo. So pretty good performance for Alfa in general. He had a better performance than Kimi. He had this lately. It was a good race for Alfa. I think they had a pretty good performance overall. Not very eventful, to be honest. Number 12, Daniel. That was a tough one. Daniel kind of had what Lewis had, not in the sense with the strategy, but a rough weekend. They were the two drivers who had the toughest weekends, to be honest. I really felt bad for Daniel, because you could see he was suffering inside. He's a one winner in Monaco. You could see his teammate doing a great performance, being on the podium, and you're number 12. Like, it's a pretty bad performance. But I hope he'll bounce back stronger, because as he said, it's something strange. Like, he couldn't really pinpoint what's wrong. It's like he couldn't really pinpoint on the car what happened. He said he really wants to review the weekend to try to understand, which is kind of strange. Usually a driver kind of feels, okay, what was the problem there? The balance, what with the balance, what? He kind of felt like, from what he was saying, he kind of looked like he's a bit confused with what's happening. Number 13. Fernando Alonso. So Fernando had a not so great result overall. He started on 17th, so it was still good end result, 13 from 17, but for sure for a driver his caliber, not the one he wanted, but it was a good drive. And then we have Russell 14th, Latifi 15th, Yuki Tsunoda on 16th. I want to just talk about Yuki. I was really a big fan of Yuki Tsunoda on the preseason testing. I was like, oh, this guy is gonna be the next big thing. I still hope he's gonna turn around and have better results, because in the beginning, especially in testing, he looked really, really strong. He was like a very good driver. You could hear rumors that he is very good at getting feedback. Whatever the team says he has to do, he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. He's respect everything. He's very consistent. But yeah, with after a few races, you could see see that he's still a rookie. He still does mistakes and struggles to really do good qualifying session. I think especially he didn't really had consistent qualifying sessions, so he always started from the back and he had trouble recovering. Next, the guy with the most memes on the internet, Nikita Mazepin. Yeah, he had a good race. He finished 17th over Mick Schumacher, which was to be proud of, maybe, after all the memes. Oh my god, I was like, I hope this guy stays offline, because every page was making fun of him going off the track in the sea or in the swimming pool at the chicane. Everybody was making fun of Nikita, that he's gonna spin off. He finished the race. He had a pretty solid results with the car he has. So yeah, I think there's nothing more to that. Make 18, not much to be said there, and the two DNFs and DNS with Valtteri and Charles. So yeah, pretty boring race, I'm gonna be honest, but the not uneventful in the sense that you still had a bit of action, you still had a bit of drama, a bit of disappointment, and some excitement for the winners. But yeah, you didn't really have a dramatic end or start or anything. Not much action, but still a bit of drama, which was fine. It's fine. At least we had the Monaco Grand Prix. It was not that glamorous as before, but it's a beginning. We're healing from the pandemic. So next we're gonna go to Azerbaijan. I think we're gonna have an interesting race there. Usually it's pretty eventful. Hopefully with more action, and hopefully we see Mercedes bouncing back. So I'm biased again towards Mercedes. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, W2W Racing. We're gonna do these shows every race. After the race, as soon as the race ends, we're gonna try to put it out there, and we're gonna have episodes on MotoGP and also on cars.